Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamsin Entertainment. And welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help. You can like and subscribe so you never miss the conversation. But most importantly, please share this video. Get the word out there that it's a community we can talk about all the things that we love. I recently saw a double feature with my friends Free Guy and Shang Chi, and we're going to be looking at Shang Chi, the latest Marvel installment. Admittedly, I didn't really have high expectations for Shang Chi because it's a Marvel movie. I'm kind of getting Marvel fatigue. I mean, we got to have a break because of COVID, but there is a formula to Marvel. It's a formula that works very well, and it's always enjoyable, but you kind of always know what you're gonna get. Now, there are surprises in here, and there are really awesome moments, especially towards the end. But in the end, it's another cog in the wheel of Marvel. So the movie starts out by telling us the history of the 10 rings, kind of. The origin of the 10 rings is still a mystery even by the end of the movie and the end credits of the movie. But they come to Earth, and Shang-Chi, hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, even though I think I've pronounced it a couple different ways since the beginning of this. But Shang-Chi's father, who unfortunately I don't remember his name, he discovers the 10 rings. I almost said 5 rings because there's a book of 5 rings by a Japanese samurai, but I don't want to get off topic. Just wanted to let you know why I might accidentally say 5 rings instead of 10 rings. Anyway, he finds the 10 rings and he uses them to conquer other civilizations and build his own empire. And he keeps on doing that, he keeps on doing that, and then it shows it's 1996. And through his very expansive life, he's discovered this town called Ta Lo, and there's supposed to be a secret there, and he wants to learn what that is. And what's really cool about this is one of the surprising things. This is the part that Marvel is still creative on, world building, because there's a huge universe to Marvel. I'm glad they can still do world building very well. So to get into this town, you have to go through this moving maze. It's a bamboo forest, and you have to know exactly the time to go into the forest, and you have to follow the maze perfectly. He does that, and there's a woman guarding the gate to Ta Lo. They have this beautiful fight. It's an absolute gorgeously choreographed fight, and my friend Sam and I, well, he made the joke first, like, oh, we got airbending here. Later on in the movie, Shang-Chi falls into some water, and it's like, oh, now we're gonna get water bending. Back to the plot. So they have this gorgeous fight, and they fall in love with each other. She leaves her village and starts a life with Shang-Chi's father. Through there, they have 2 children, Shang-Chi, and, sorry if I butcher this one, Jiangli, or Jiangling, I think is how you pronounce the sister's name. And at one point in their early childhood, the father is off on business, and his past catch up with him. I guess a mobster shows up at his place, and it's only the mother and the children, and she protects the children, telling them to go off and so take care of things. Well, the airbending, for lack of a better term, abilities she had was only when she was at Ta Lo's. She can't use them outside of there. And this guy first shows up with, like, I think 7 henchmen, and when she sends the children away, she's ready to fight, and then like 30, 40, 50 more, some ridiculously huge number for one person to fight, come in. She still fights them, she protects her children, but unfortunately she dies in the process. And the father's whole mission throughout the movie is to go to darkness to bring her back. And doesn't that sound familiar? Yes, when I learned his end game, I was like, this is Doctor Strange. It's not the exact same story, but it's the blueprint. The villain, or really the antagonist, is a man who lost his love and essentially wants to make a deal with the devil to get her back. That's why I didn't really have high expectations. I kind of knew where the plot was going to go once I learned that. It does have a twist in there. It's not a huge, like, mind-blown twist like the Vader reveal. Of course, I don't think anything's ever going to beat that. But there is a twist in there. It's a nice one, and it does separate it from Doctor Strange. Now, another thing that's great about this movie is it does a huge subversion of expectations. So you learn about Shang-Chi's past by going back and forth between the past and the present, but before you learn everything about him, you think he's going to be called back and he's going to learn and he's going to go through training montages and everything. No! How they reveal what he can do, that's awesome. Despite Marvel having a formula, they still have surprises up their sleeve, and I'm really grateful for that. So, him and his friend, Katie, are on a bus trying to get somewhere, and these assassins are on the bus. They're trying to get this pendant that his mother gave him. She gave 2 pendants, one to him, one to his sister. And they're after the pendants because they are a key Jamsin in the story. Well, these guys are after the pendant, and Katie's like, because she's known him for, I don't know, 10 years or so. She thinks she knows him. And this guy starts to try to fight him, and he does some rudimentary, like, blocking and dodging. And she says, dude, do you really think this guy knows how to fight? And then, complete 180 on her. He kicks everyone's butt. I mean, except for one guy, this big burly guy with a sword for an arm. That's pretty cool. It completely blew my mind. It's like, I wasn't expecting that, just like the character wasn't expecting that, and that's good. I'm glad Marvel can still surprise me. And like I said, there's an awesome epicness at the end. That's really, really cool. So this movie does a few things. Obviously, it continues the Marvel storyline. It definitely sets up, I'm pretty sure, Spider-Man No Way Home, just because Wong is in this. That should say a lot right there. People who love the Marvel movies should get where things are going by just mentioning one character. That's actually pretty awesome, because then all of us Marvel fans have the secret language. I like that. That's pretty cool. The other thing, world building. It continues to build, and it's continued to build just plain old planet Earth. It's not like they had to go, well, they kind of had to go cosmic because of the 10 rings, but that's still a mystery. But there's still a huge world within planet Earth. Ta Lo is still a mystery. I'd love to go back there and see what else is there and what more can we learn about that place. Overall, I had a blast with this movie, even though I knew pretty much what I was going to get. I think Marvel, if they continue to be able to use a formula but make it fresh every time, they're going to be doing this for years and years. I mean, they've already been doing it for over 10 years. I could see them doing another 10 years if they keep it fresh. Those are my thoughts on Shang-Chi. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen it and what your thoughts are. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.